Namaste. Has been when she was introduced by the power with music and magic. She joined a yoga school in France in 2008. She's to Ramana Maharshi's teaching, and she's been practicing his teachings since 2017. She also practices and teaches vocal yoga, which is the natural expression of her inner journey through silence, music, and yoga. In today's session, Ramtara ji will showcase how sound reverberates in our being by going through a specific raga scale and its mood. Ramtara ji, can I please ask you to join the session? Ramtara ji, will you please? Namaste.
Hi, Sophia.
Thank you so much for joining Indica Yoga. I'm just going to hand over this session to you now, and I'll see all of you later for Q&A.
Okay, thank you. Hi, Sophia, and hi, everyone. Thank you so much to Indica Yoga for this kind invitation to present vocal yoga and its origin. In this session, I will give you some point to reflect upon what constitutes the basis of the practice of sound in a yogic perspective, and we'll try to experiment a little. So I will invite you to sing along behind the screen. It won't be a proper session of vocal yoga, since it's more like a conference with some hints into the practice, but I hope you will enjoy it. But before this, I'd like to begin by thanking my teachers for their beautiful and heartful transmission. I teach both vocal yoga and Vedic chanting as two complementary wings of the practice of the sound and in a perspective of jnana and bhakti yoga. Let me share my screen. Yeah. First, I would like to thank my Vedic chanting teacher, Shantala Sriramayaha, who introduced me to Indica Yoga and who is bringing to the West the beautiful practice of Vedic chanting as taught in the Mysore tradition by the Chalakya brothers, and more especially by Srinivasan. In this transmission, we get fully immersed in the world of mantra, in the teaching of the Veda, and in Indian culture and tradition. Regarding today's topic, I'd like also to thank my vocal yoga teachers, Adam Calchon and Nathalie Nichanian, they are a French couple who framed this practice of vocal yoga so that it would be accessible for Westerners to benefit from both the effects of Indian classical music and Sanskritam as a meditative practice and a path to self-knowledge. Adam is a great inspired musician and Nathalie is a yoga teacher. They both follow the teaching of a French Drupad teacher. Drupad is the Northern Indian classical music. And Ivan Transler was a direct disciple of the Dagar brothers. Years after, they came with this beautiful proposition of vocal yoga, which rely on Indian classical music at a level anyone can access, and with holy chants, holy Sanskrit chants, which are excerpts from Indian tradition. But let's begin our session with some invocatory mantras so that hopefully we can all benefit from this session with focused attention and inspired speech and hearing, and get a vision of what the practice can bring us all. Those who know the mantra, please join along, and for the other, please close your eyes, open your heart, and let these mantras reverberate in your being. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Garana Antva Ganapatigum Havamahe Kavim Kavinamupamashravastamam Jeshtarajam Brahmanam Brahmanaspata Anashrinvannutibhis Sidasadanam Mahaganapataye Namaha Prano Devi Saraswati Vajabhirvajinivati Dhinama Vitriyavatu Ano divo brhatah parvatada saraswati yajata gantu yaknyam havan devi jujushana ghrtachi shakman no vachamushati sharanotu vagdevyai namaha charanam pavitram vitatam puranam yena putastarati dushkritani tena pavitrena shuddhena putaha Atipapma namaratintarema Shri Sadguru Charana Ravindabhyan Namaha Om Sahana Vavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. During this presentation, we'll keep in mind both Vedic chanting and vocal yoga so that we can understand they are intimate and yet different in their approach. To be more specific, I will use the term chanting when referring to the recitation of the mantras more in Vedic chanting types, and singing when referring to vocal yoga. Music and chanting have the natural effect of conducing a meditative state or atmosphere, but to understand deeper how we can inquire into the sound, we need to go deeper into its origins. Music and mantras are languages. What are languages? What is language? In our concern, in everyday life, we can say that language is a way to communicate and a way to express both ideas and feelings through sounds. More subtle in our intimacy, it is a way to invoke, to manifest, to create. In invocation, it is a medium through which we are making a bridge between ourselves and invisible forces. In sound language, we can distinguish two kinds of language. The musical language, in which we use frequencies or sequences of frequencies, which is more related to the realm of emotion and feelings, whereas in speech and mantras, we use articulated language by making regular cuts in the sound generated by the movement of the mouth and the tongue. This second implies a work at the level of the intellect, which is not necessarily present in the first one. The articulated language and the musical language are two aspects which are parallel and complementary in the sound language. I would even say that articulated language is a further specification of human faculties of the musical language. The sound we are making in our speaking voice is made of a range of harmonics. And apart from articulation, we also use intonation, which is already a musical element in our speech. What would be a question without the uprising of the voice? Like if I say, shall we go? Mm-hmm. And the answer, okay. Mm-hmm. In every language, there is a specific codification for this, which is already, which through intonation is already the part of the meaning of what we want to convey. But we need the word to communicate and to specify more the idea. In chanting, words are intricately mixed with the musical elements, such as tones, accents, length, and rhythm. In our expression, we are limited by the word and the sound we are making. Our perspective is only shaped regarding the mechanical faculties in our mouth which is bound by our capacity to discriminate two frequencies and to hear them as two different notes. And it is also shaped by our articulation capacities, which will result only in a capacity to express ourselves through a limited number of phonemes. Now, having understood some fundamentals about what we hear of the sound through language, let's say its outer manifestation, let's go deeper into what's behind the sound. In yoga, we consider there are 4 stages from the ideation to its expression. An idea takes its source in what we call para, which is an undifferentiated substratum where all the ideas and emotions comes from. Then the idea of the emotion arising and travel through to the level of pashyanti, which come from the Sanskrit root pash, meaning to see. This is the level where we have a global vision of the idea, but it still needs to be given a form. The next step in the formulation, where we use our mind to shape the idea, to give words to the idea, is called madhyama, because before it comes to its auditory expression in Vaikhari, which is speech level. Each level of the manifestation of an idea or an emotion travel through the chakra systems. Vaikhari will be related to the throat chakra, Madhyama to the heart chakra, Pashyanti to the chakra of the navel, and Para will be rooted in the Muladhara chakra. Both musical and articulated sound travel through this system and meet at the heart level, meaning Madhyama. And they expressed further in different ways in Vaikhari, either in musical or articulated language. The first one being more emotion-oriented and the second one more idea-oriented. In Para, the whole creation is resorbed. We get an intimation of the process and the power at work of the manifestation of the creation by inquiring into the sound. I would say where Rishi expresses the truth of the universe through mantras in the Vedas, the great Gandharva musician expressed the truth of this universe through their music, their ragas. Each of them transcribe a vision, a wisdom in their own languages, either musical or either articulated. And both are giving us a path to be attuned and to make our way back to the source of the vibration. Tracing the sound back to its source is an important technique in yoga. We can on the way find that both word and music are just some differentiated way of expressing a vision, should it be idea or emotion. And to get back on the track of this inquiry, let's do some exercise. I will invite you to sing along or to participate. Please take a comfortable posture, straight as possible, but without tension. Let your shoulder be relaxed. Hands on the thighs or on the knees. Close your eyes. Let the attention go within. You can observe your breath going, the succession of inhalation and exhalation. And we'll begin our exercise by exhaling while chanting Om. This Om is at Vaikhari level. You can hear it. Focus all your attention on the Om coming with the exhalation. Om. add the mental repetition of one Om while inhaling. So you exhale Om and you inhale mentally with Om. Follow the sound until it disappears in silence and before the inhalation comes. Extend your breath and make a stop at the end of exhalation. Keep some kumbhaka, light stop between exhalation and inhalation. Let your mind be absorbed in this space between exhalation and inhalation. And while your breath is suspended, just observe the urge, the inner urge that wants you to inhale. Let it be. Let the mental recitation of the Om comes after this stop. Just feel the movement. And we keep on doing this exercise. Go deeper into the exhalation as a wakeful sleeper. Go deeper in the stop. Notice the movement, the urge of the breath. And now we'll keep on with this recitation, only both exhalation and inhalation. We will repeat Om mentally, only mentally. Om while inhaling, Om while exhaling, and stop. And if the urge to drop the recitation even comes, just so be it. Otherwise, keep on repeating this Om. Let your breath amplify. You can open back your eyes. Just feel the space where you're in. And we'll keep on with the presentation. While tracing back the sounds to its origin, we get to understand a more subtle and intuitive way of the way all the sounds are produced. We get in the realm of the vibration, and we get to understand how our own language is shaped and how all languages are shaped. In this process, we get more familiar with the underlying vibration behind sound, not as a goal in itself, but more as a natural result in our getting to know ourselves and getting to know the functioning of our equipment. Resting our attention at the source of the mind, at the source of the sound, the mind gets silenced. And from that standpoint, we can rejoice the unity with whatever comes. The unity before sound, before movement, before expression. It is also the source of heart, the source of art, and the source of inspiration that comes from that same place, that same deep space. And in this way, we get an intimation into the mystery of the creation of this universe. We can only work at the level of Vaikhari, Madhyama, or Pashyanti. The level of Para is given its grace. Our job is to work on the 3-4 level and to go into this concentration to give the direction of the focus, so that eventually this grace would happen and we can stay in Para. We can be only in Para. Now let's see what is vocal yoga. What do we call vocal yoga? Vocal yoga relies on 2 main pillars, which are Indian classical music and singing of holy chants in Sanskritam. In this practice, Indian classical music is used to tune ourselves to sattvic disposition through the evocation of certain ragas, certain vibration, which are conducive to peace and harmony. This music has the power to bring us into a more contemplative mind. To understand what vocal yoga is, let's first have a look of the sequence of the practice. Like in Hatha Yoga session, you will find several steps, aiming at going deeper in ourselves and stepping through our different layers. First, we need a comfortable and stable posture. And if we want quality in the listening and in the expression, then our posture must be the reflection of our inner disposition to listen. And for this, the posture must be open, stable, straight. Then only our mind can turn inward and our ears can open and we can bring our attention on the vibration. During the session, a tanpura, like now, is always playing. We begin by tuning ourselves with humming in harmony with the sound of the tanpura. The tanpura is the instrument I have just next to me, but what you are hearing is audio version. And then we proceed further to a small alap, which is the most meditative part of the development of a raga. Then we sing some Sanskrit shlokas, excerpt from Indian tradition, and in due respect to the framework of the raga. And we end the session in silent meditation, where we can experience the benefit of the practice and the potency of this vibrant silence. Let's now dive deeper into musical language of Indian classical music. Musical language is more conducive to express emotion, as I already said. Using it as a yoga, we are purifying our whole emotional and nervous system and making space for a greater aspiration. Let me tell you the famous story of Tansen, who was a musicer at Akbar court in the 16th century and Swami Haridas. Many of you probably know this story. One evening, after listening to Tansen musical performance, the Emperor Akbar was so deeply moved by the singing that he wanted to meet Tansen's master, Swami Haridas. However, Tansen replied, "My master won't probably accept the invitation to appear at the court." The emperor said, "We shall go to him instead." Tansen felt embarrassed. His guru would never accept to sing for a monarch. However, the desire of an emperor is like order, and Akbar had an idea. "I'll disguise myself as your servant so that out of love for you, your guru will accept to sing." Tansen could not argue. The two men decided to leave at dawn for the forest where the guru was living. The guru was not duped by the ruse, and out of affection for his disciple, he started to sing. The singing was so wonderful that Akbar and Tansen soon reached a state of absorption. Meanwhile, the guru disappeared in the forest. Returning to their normal state, Akbar and Tansen were silent for a while. Then the emperor said, "This singing was magical. It was divine. But tell me, why can't you sing like your master?" Tansen answered, "The reason is simple. My master sings for God. I sing for you." I really like this story. Originally, Indian classical music was not music for show or entertainment. It was a direct address to the Lord in the quietness and intimacy of one's own heart. This famous story really highlights the power of music and the power of ragas. Whereas some music can bring more agitation, in vocal yoga, we use Indian classical music to connect to our higher dimension. We use raga related to devotion, longing, peace, harmony, beauty, purity, all sattvic qualities that will refine our minds and make it rest. And then only the heart can open and express. Bhakti comes when you have the urge to meet the divine, and the greatest devotion is toward the self. Rumi was saying, "Looking for God, I found myself, and looking for myself, I found God." This is really the beauty of the practice. You're looking for something you're already, and yet it is so much joy, so much, this recognition is in so much fullness and beauty and love. This path of yoga through music is a path of union for both the one who expresses the music and for the listener. The greatness of a musician is not in his performance, but in his capacity to dive into that space within. This musician then becomes a servant of the Lord, who manifests its power through the music. The more transparent the musician is, the more these forces can make their way through and transform the musician, both the musician and the audience. This music demands tremendous bhakti and dedication. It's truly a way of purification. At our level, music is our way to invoke, to connect to the divine. It is a way to express our devotion. Our sound is our praise, is our puja. Every movement can be like flower offering. You offer your sound. Let's remember that traditionally, Indian classical music was a life commitment. It needs tremendous time to get fully immersed in that music and to become a vehicle for that divine expression. In vocal yoga, we humbly walk the path of the sound in the spirit, inspired by the legacy of this great musician. With right attitude, the beauty of this music is that you just need to make a step and the music comes to you, the music do the rest for you. It is really in the intention that everything is possible. And our voice is our closest given instrument. While we sing, we deeply offer our heart. there are crucial elements that contribute to the power of that music. The language of Indian classical music is different from Western music, we know. Modern music is more like making a painting. It is more of a vertical dynamic out of time, whereas Western music is more like storytelling with horizontal development in time. This difference is huge, and you can't understand Indian classical music using a Western perspective. The language is different, the aim is different. First, one element which is really important in that music is the tanpura, which gives the foundation on which the whole music will expand. The tanpura is the instrument which is always used at the background of any expression, should it be voice, vocal, or musical expression. It generates a drone, and this cloud of sound. And the word tanpura comes from two words, the word tana, which means sound or resonance, and pura, which implies completeness, fullness. We can thus say that a tanpura is the completeness of music. The drone it's generated is filled with harmonics and overtones, and it is like a cloud, and in the middle of this complete spectrum, there is one note rising, which we call the sa, which is the fundamental note, fundamental basis of the sargam, the scale of a raga, and the whole music will lean on this note. Tanpura has the property to quieten our mind easily and to stabilize it, so that with the mind at rest, we can have this chance to realize our own nature. To live the music as a spiritual path, we need to understand some symbolic in order to merge ourselves in the sound. The drone that is always playing at the background of this musical expression is a reminder of the self which is already there, whatever happens, whatever music comes, whatever experience we are encountering, whatever movement arising, all these movements are just appearance on the screen of the consciousness. They will eventually come to rest in their source at some point, should it be between two notes, or two thoughts, or two movements. And despite the beauty of this ephemeral creation that arises, the sound will always come back to silence in para. And the tanpura, which is always here at the back, is reminding us that this para is always there, and that it is the source of everything. This silence is the source of everything. Only our mind is focusing on what's coming on the screen. We just need to change the focus. We can read in the music the symphony of this universe. We will find some common patterns between different fields such as mathematics, geometry, and music. And the more we get familiar with the sound and what's behind the sound, the easier we can make some transposition to understand all the parallel in the different fields, different expression forms. The music is a starting point to inquire, and it helps in focusing the mind and the attention. When you learn Indian music, you learn to open your listening faculties. Your mind needs to stay at rest so that you can repeat the movement produced by the teacher. Like in Adhyayanam in Vedic chanting, we have this phase where we have to be completely silent to receive and to hear properly what's given and what we have to repeat. Only in that silence the transmission can happen. There is a practice which, among all beneficial effects on breath and quality of the voice, consists in repeating over and again the same note for hours, days, months, up to years. And in fact, we can surely spend our entire life on that single note. Maybe you know also this story, we'll see. there was an old man who was a violin player. He was playing only one note for hours every day. Strangely, he had been playing this tone for so long that nobody, even his family or his neighbor, remember from when he even started. His family was puzzled when close relatives were annoyed. And one day his wife asked, "This tone is surely beautiful, but I hear many musician friends coming to our house and playing different tones, you know?" And he answered, "Huh?" He answered, "Okay, but surely these poor people hasn't found the tone, the only tone that is already here, this primal frequency, ourselves, focusing all our attention on this sound is a way to dismiss all the outer and inner distractions, single-pointedness, which is really a faculty we need to develop in yoga. Let's make some practice and play with the tanpura to tune ourselves. Come back to the posture, close your eyes, turn your attention inward, listen to the sound of the tanpura. And we'll begin with humming on the sound. So on the frequency I was speaking about, this basic fundamental frequency. So if you're not familiar with it, just for a moment listen to the frequency I will sing and I will hum. And when you're ready, just hum along and we'll be like bees humming together. Feel the vibration in your body. Now, let's focus all your attention on your voice, as if the tanpura, the sound of the tanpura is really far. Hear the humming of your sound, of your voice. Now let's shift your focus on the sound of the tanpura, as if your humming song is really far. And now find the space where you can accommodate both the sound of your voice and the sound of the tanpura. The space before the two sounds. Feel the release of this effortless space where you can hear everything, accommodate everything. Let the sound drop. Open your eyes. Feel the quality of the presence you're in. And now that we have the fundamental tone, let's see some more aspects of the music, of that music. What do we call a raga? Raga is hard to define. Like yoga, which can designate both practices, a set of practices, and the state that results out of the practice, raga is made of different ingredients, which results in the manifestation of a specific vibration, quality, or emotion. One component is the sargam, or the scale of the raga, which consists of a certain number of chosen frequency, chosen notes. Each note is always chanted in relation to the fundamental note, to the sa, so that if we don't consider sound in absolute, like an absolute frequency, but we consider sound as steps or intervals. And we will consider the effects of these intervals on our psyche. Certain steps or intervals generate an effect on our nervous system and induce in us certain types of feelings such as sadness, joy, beauty, courage, tenderness, romance. And a frame of notes and its different combination or arrangements will then bring a specific atmosphere we call a rag. But so that the imprint made is sufficiently strong, this combination must be repeated over and again. We can compare this development as the way painting is made. First, we have the canvas, that is the drawing. Then each note will bring some color in the painting. Some color will be more prominent, and progressively as we develop the rag, each movement will bring some form, will give some shape and some depth in the painting, so that we can have a global impression of the vibration of the rag. Let's explore a scale and feel the difference in these intervals and their potency. We'll use for this the shortened names of the note sa, re, ga, ma, pa, dha, ni, sa. Let's take the Raga Bairagi, which is more conducive for introversion, inquiry, and devotion. Close your eyes. Tune to the tanpura. And we'll have this image in ourselves of a rising sun. Let's see if getting this idea, we can have a hint into what these intervals can bring as emotion, as sensations. So I will invite you to repeat the frequency after me. First listen and then repeat. Sa. Remember, Sa is home, it is the self, it is our deepest space. And in this image of the rising sun, we are still in night, day has not yet come. We are unknowingly dwelling in ourselves, in this Sa. Sa. repeat with you. Sa. Second note. Re, sa. Re, sa. In this re, we have some tension, some uncertainty. We can feel dawn coming, the first color arising. We are so close from sa, but yet different. Re, sa. Re, sa. Then we go to the ga. Sa, re, ga. Together. Sa, re, ga. Ga is more stable. Sun has passed the horizon. The day is surely happening. There is a first level. Further to the ma. Sa, re, sa, re, ga, ma. Together. Sa, re, ga, ma. As if the sun is running through the sky, going towards one specific point. Sa, re, ga, ma, pa. Together. Sa, re, ga, ma, pa. Pa is like the zenith. It's full solar expression. Then we go upper to the dha. Dha is more like transformation happening. Sa, re, ga, ma, pa, dha. Together. Sa, re, ga, ma, pa, dha. Then come the knee. Knee is a new tension coming, a great aspiration, aspiring for some resolution. Feel the tension is that in that note. Sa, re, ga, ma, pa, dha, ni. Together. Sa, re, ga, ma, pa, dha, ni. Ni is the aspiration to find the sa. Sa is the octave in comparison to the first sa we sang. And if we take this journey through the scale as our spiritual journey, then we have this first sa which is like we are unknowingly dwelling in ourselves, but when expressing through the octave, then we have full realization of that space. our hears it as the same note, as if they are completely equal. The only difference is that we know where we are when we are up there. It is just an evocation. I hope the image can be speakful. Let's sing the complete scale together. Or maybe first listen to it and then we'll sing it along together. Sa re ga ma pa dha ni sa. Together. Sa re ga ma pa dha ni sa. Going down the scale. Sa ni dha pa ma ga re sa. Sa. In the session, we will take more time to dwell in these notes and to make some movements so that the fullness of the vibration can be really present in the atmosphere and our mind would be completely imbibed in these frequencies. It seems time is running short. We'll go for some singing of a chant. Which is a chant to Ramana. It's salutations to Ramana. Ramana, you can see in the name Ramana Maharshi, but you can also see the meaning in Sanskritam, which is the one who gives joy. And who is this one but the self? So we'll chant as we did just now in question answers, meaning I will progressively chant each line of the chants, and you will answer back. We'll put some rhythm, and then at the end we'll keep a moment of silence until a bell rings. So the chant is Om Namo Ramanaya, Namo Ramanaya, Namo Namo. Om Namo Bhagavate, salutation to the Lord. Ramanaya, Ramanaya, Shri Bhagavan, Sharanam. We take refuge in that Lord. Whether we use the term God, love, self, it's all the same. It's one and the same reality. So let's begin. Om Namo Ramanaya. Together. Om Namo Ramanaya. Namo Ramanaya. Together. Namo Ramanaya. Namo Namo. Namo Namo. Two first lines. Om Namo Ramanaya. Om Namo Ramanaya. Namo Ramanaya. Namo Namo. Namo Ramanaya. Namo Namo. Om Namo Bhagavate. Om Namo Bhagavate. Ramanaya, Ramanaya. Together. Ramanaya, Ramanaya. These two lines. Om Namo Bhagavate Ramanaya, Ramanaya. Together. Om Namo Bhagavate Ramanaya, Ramanaya. Shri Bhagavan, Shri Bhagavan, Sharanam, 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 Sharanam. These two lines. Shri Bhagavan, Shri Bhagavan, Sharanam, Sharanam. We'll do with the rhythm. Om Namo Ramanaya, Namo Ramanaya, Namo Namo. Om Namo Ramanaya, Namo Ramanaya, Namo Namo. Om Namo Bhagavate Ramanaya, Ramanaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Ramanaya, Ramanaya. Shri Bhagavan, Shri Bhagavan, Sharanam, 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 Sharanam. Om Namo Ramanaya, Namo Ramanaya, Namo Namo. Om Namo Ramanaya, Namo Ramanaya, Namo Namo. Om Namo Bhagavate Ramanaya, Ramanaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Ramanaya, Ramanaya. Shri Bhagavan, Shri Bhagavan, Sharanam, 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 Sharanam. Om Namo Ramanaya, Namo Ramanaya, Namo Namo. Om Namo Ramanaya, Namo Ramanaya, Namo Namo. Om Namo Bhagavate Ramanaya, Ramanaya. Shri Bhagavan, Shri Bhagavan, Sharanam, 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 Sharanam. Om Namo Ramanaya, Namo Namo. Together. Om Namo Ramanaya, Namo Ramanaya, Namo Namo. Let's keep some moment of silence. May we all benefit from the power of the sound and to know ourselves and to walk the path of yoga. Let our speech and our voice be connected to the heart and to truth. Thank you for your attention and thank you again for Indica Yoga. Sophia, if you want to join us.
Namaste, everyone. That was so calming and beautiful. Thank you so much, Ramtara ji. That was very, very beautiful. And I'm sure everyone's feeling so much more calm after that session. So thank you for sharing. So we're open for any questions that anyone might have. So please just type in your questions and we'll take them now. And while you get yoga YouTube channel, website, so you can and share the session with everyone you know. Just come back and listen to the lovely chanting by
Your voice is
Ramtara ji.
breaking.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Is it better now?
Yeah, a bit better.
Okay, so while you all can still hear me, I'm so sorry about that. I'm in a place with not the very best of internet. Can we please, Ramtara ji, share your details if anyone wants to get in touch with you?
Yeah, sure.
Koti ji, will you put that in the chat, please?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, the website would be in French.
That's okay. Or even an email address if any of our participants would like to get in touch with you, whether it's a website, an email address I think would be better. Is it okay if we do that?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Koti ji, can you put her email address in the chat? So, well, I don't see any questions, but of course, everyone can write into us at any time. Before we sign out, is there any last message or advice you'd like to share with everyone?
Just begin anything. Just begin with song wherever you are, whatever whatever you feel about your voice. It doesn't matter. The only importance is how much of your heart you put in the practice. So just go from where you are and wherever you are, the sound will pick you and drive you back to yourself.
Thank you so much. That was beautiful. We also have a question. The question is, do bhajans follow the same principle of musical yoga?
Bhajan would be devotional singing for sure. It depends on who is leading the bhajan. Some bhajan will be composed in due respect to Indian classical music, and some don't. So it's really depending on which bhajan you're participating in. But anyway, the importance of the bhajan is the bhakti. So even if these rules and this power of the raga is not present, already the power of devotion is there.
Thank you so much. I hope that answers your question. And everyone who'd like to get in touch with Ramtara ji, her email address is in the chat box, so you can always access that. And again, just to remind everyone, these sessions are recorded, so you can always access them and listen to her beautiful chanting. So I think with that, we can end our session today. Thank you again, Ramtara ji. Thank you so much for joining Indica Yoga. And also big thank you to all our participants. And I hope to see all of you again next week on Friday for our next Yoga Insights. Thank you so much.
Thank you.